All right, and welcome to the. This is how do you say your name?
Vianney in French. In French, it's pronounced Vianney. In
Vianney.
English, I don't know. I don't have the instructions manual.
Okay. Vianney.
Yeah,
Is that decent?
yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. I've known you kind of loosely for a while now through
Mhm.
Remy and Enzo.
Yeah,
Enzo was the first of you guys that I've met. Uh,
yeah. Was it on like some Facebook drawing group or?
no, he was subscribed to a Anthony Jones mentorship type thing, and
Mhm.
one of my American friends was also in that mentorship program. So he introduced me to this black French dude, and then on Discord, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's how I found out about him. He is funny as hell. That dude is
Enzo.
hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
him.
Oh, you've gotta meet him in real life for once.
Nice, nice. Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah. It might, he's the kind of guy who, if you are more extrovert, well, for me, I'm talking. He's the kind of guy who, if you're more extrovert, more talky and shit than him, he might be a bit shy. But if you are not
yeah,
um, stealing the show in kind of a way, he's going to be a super super goofball.
yeah, I'm the same way as him in that, and it's funny. It's I don't know. He's got a good sense of humor. But anyways, yeah, man. So you guys are all awesome. You French
Thank
assholes. You're all awesome at art, and that's why I wanted to talk to a couple of you guys. Um, you and Enzo both are really good at almost seeming like you're very good technically, but then at times you can just say fuck it and not care. In
you.
in certain
You,
areas you can be very loose and shit. What
yeah.
do you think that's necessary, or is that like a style that you're going for, or
Uh, I I wouldn't say it is necessary, but I think it's important for some moments to not forget, but put a bit aside the realistic and anatomical and perspective thing, because where if you go full anatomy, full lighting, full everything, full how do you call that? Uh, um, you know,
yeah,
schoolism.
yeah,
You're not a camera. You're not a 3D rendering software. So you're what are you? An illustrator, a drawer, and
mm,
drawing is a language. So you're addressing people, and people talk language. So you will need to tweak your drawings in some ways that it it's telling a message, it's telling something, a story, anything. You can use anatomy, you can use very classic stuff to serve what you're saying, to just empower. If you want to make some character really realistic with all the muscles and the veins and the you know it I think the being loose or not is it's my English is a bit broken, but
no,
it
I
has to
understand.
serve the what you need to tell into this picture. Of course, it's always pleasing. It's how do you say? It's a performance. It might be a performance, but I think it's important to be aware of that. Performance is great, but it has not to be everything.
Yeah, okay,
Because it's gonna be like training and lifting weights all year round, but without making it into something concrete. And I mean, it's cool to train, but what are you going to do with this training? What are you going to tell?
yeah, yeah,
I mean, there's a moment when you always have to go into um, figure poses, academical class. Yes, but what are you doing this for? And this is what I'm realizing with these two superior years in my school is that okay, I've learned to do anatomical stuff again, but why did I struggle all these years for? Is this just to make some character in 3/4 seen from above, with these and these features and muscular and this lighting from here and this light, and how do I match these colors? Okay, but this image, okay, it's gonna be pretty, but people are going to remember it. Not some people are going to remember it because it's lovely, it's nice to see, but what are you going to most people are not going to just they'll be like, oh, this is pretty, and they're going to scroll off, if they say it in their feed.
Yeah.
Because what are you telling it? What are you telling people with it? Most of our references are, I don't know, from movies or comics, and sure, these movies might be pretty and stuff, but the first thing you say after a movie or a comic, is it like, oh wow, the CGs are great, or is it oh, that story, oh, that character was badly developed, or oh, I like this character, what he did, the way he acts,
Yeah, it's definitely the writing. Usually, it's definitely the story that,
yeah.
that people.
So yeah, I think being loose sometimes helps to I don't know if that works. Does the word evoke?
Yes.
Does it work in? Yeah, you can evoke things you've learned at school, like perspective anatomy and stuff. But if you draw loosely, it's the main point is to tell a story. Tell a story by character posing. Tell a story by I don't know. Being loose helps to put to set the big picture up. It helps to put the general story, general thing in place, and then you can go for CG. First, you go up for the scenario, you go up for the intentions you've got to put in your work, and then you can render it, and then you can, But
right.
It's no use putting putting cream and icing on a cake that's badly baked. Well, usually I say it's no use to put icing on a crab cake.
Well, one thing you do, even in your more loose drawings or sketches, is you always make sure to include some sort of little added detail or fundamental thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you seem to do that a lot with like light. You always add like a light reflecting or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice to look at, man.
Yeah.
You can't see what I'm streaming, but or what I'm showing,
are you streaming right now?
Yeah, to YouTube, because I got my Twitch banned.
Yeah. Why is it for? Did you wave the Confederate flag?
No, my a friend of mine came in extremely high and drunk. He video called me on Facebook, so I decided to live stream it, and he pulled his dick out. So yeah, well, it didn't last. But yeah, so okay. No, it's. I feel like that's something that a lot of older artists tell younger people or me, is that yeah, exactly, to focus on the story and more on moving on and getting
well that doesn't, I don't think that means you've got to put aside all the theoretical stuff you've learned on color and things.
yeah,
It's how do you say it, you've got to think about the story like in a written book without pictures in it. You're going to think about the story, what you're going to tell, and then your drawing is going to be the way you're telling it. So you've got to be a good orator, you've got to be a good narrator, you've got to be someone that can make a story interesting. But because you've probably heard of some friends of you tell a very good story, but they just tell it bad, and so you lose interest. You can't just tell a crap story.
Right.
And if you're a good orator, or if you're like Morgan Freeman with a nice voice, there's something to catch up the ear or the eye, the mind of the spectator. So it's being a good orator is a thing. Then you've got to tell interesting things. It's a matter of both. But thing is that most of us have focused on drawing and how we tell stories. Okay, but now we need fuel. We need things to tell.
Yeah. No, it's very difficult. But yeah, okay. I wanted to also get to some other questions I had for you. First of all, how old are you right now?
I'm currently I'm 23.
23? Okay, and you've been at the art school in Lyon for how long?
I've been in one crap school for 1 year, then went into prepa. I don't know if you see what that is. That's just prepa, and then 3 years. So this is my sixth year now.
Wow. Okay. Shit. Now,
I'm very patient.
Did you when did you like start taking art, really seriously? Was that at the beginning of art school? Did it take a while, or?
I wasn't into art really seriously. Like I was, when you go to art school, most of people who go to art school just before entering it, they are just the dude or the girl that draws in the class, and everybody is asking for a drawing of the teacher, teacher or friend, and no more than that. But I started taking art seriously when I got into prepa, and because I had a friend who was in my current school at the time and was like, "Oh, this school is too scary," because there was a whole myth about it being really really hard and being you're losing your life and etc. And that made it real scary. So I went past it, and then after a year in that crap school, I was like, because I realized if I was continuing this crap school, I was going to make logos and InDesign all my life, and I was full no, don't want to do that. And then that made me think, I just want to draw hard and learn things, because that was my thing at the time. And so just went into the school and started drawing. When you start drawing seriously, when you start drawing really every day within a regular basis, at the beginning I started drawing a shitload of sketchbooks, because that's the moment you don't need to think. You just need to loosen your hand and learn to observe everything around you. So that was the time I was drawing without thinking, and now I'm drawing a bit less, but with much more thinking, I think.
Yeah.
So that was the diary or drawing moment.
So when did you start doing the sketchbooks?
It was between the crap school and my actual school.
Is that was that before the 6 years that you've been at this?
No. That was after the first year. Well, at the end of my first year, because first year was crap school, and then five next year are my current school.
Okay. I mean, usually when you ask people that, there's kind of there's usually delay. Some sort of piece of media or an artist that gave them an extra push or something, around that age, like 16, 15.
Not for me. It was mostly I was really, really fucking autistic kid back then in high school.
Yeah.
Really, really, really like everybody says they are socially unable to do anything and awkward, but I was really that kid sometimes talking very loud, screaming for no reason. And myself, I have no reason, no explanation for why I did this. Really, the weird kid,
Yeah.
and then just drawing shit anime / World of Warcrafty things
Yeah.
in the margin of the books, and then I started just taking it a bit seriously because I was following some uh, online comics, some how do you call it, web comics at the time, and that maybe a bit into it, but not too seriously. I was still not doing any observation, drawing, etc. Then I think that was after my first year of no, drawing really is my stuff. Then I went full, yeah, full,
Nice, man.
full. I'm drawing like five, six shits a day.
Yeah. How old were you around then?
Was my late 18, my 18, late 18.
18.
Yeah. I've got to say, I don't know if I'd be able to say I'm proud, but my level progressed pretty fast because I went from a real not good level. I mean, my girlfriend now is 19 years old, and what she's doing now, oh my god, if I could do that at her age. She's like in second grade. I'm in fourth,
Yeah.
and her average drawings are I would say better than most of the drawings of every person in my class.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Nah, dude,
but
art's
that
really,
is, excuse me, yeah.
just art's really, it's the first thing I think everyone asks each other is, hey, how old are you?
Yeah.
It's very
Mm.
yeah, it's very ageist.
Yeah, but being with her, made me realize that age is not really the thing, because everybody assumes that you just draw for fun until 17, 18, and then you go more seriously. But she started drawing really really seriously at the age of something like 14, 15. So she has at least the same experience than me, if
Yeah.
not more. Well,
Yeah.
I have more school experience because school is pushing you really out of your comfort zone, but she's really, really exigent. She's
Yeah.
really, she's very severe with herself and her drawings. So,
That's good, man. It's good. It's good
yeah,
to good to have that push.
yeah,
That
good
other
kick in the
person.
butt.
Yeah, that's awesome. Uh, yeah. I mean, for me, I think first of all, like I started drawing mostly to make my friends laugh. I would,
So always that.
yeah, and 13, 14, I just I draw celebrities, with their guts hanging out, and and
Yeah,
fishnets.
classic
And,
high school stuff.
yeah, and I don't know, but sometimes I laugh and I joke, with my friends. I'm like, you know, why the fuck did you tell me I was good at that? You were lying to me. You were straight up lying to my fucking face, and made me,
Why so?
like your friends, they say, oh, you're really good at drawing. You should keep drawing, bro. But
Yeah, well, why would it be? Why
well,
would it be not?
you look back at the art that you were doing then, that you thought was good, and you're like, oh
What?
my god, that's awful. Like
You,
these
you, you, g- yeah.
these guys were lying to
Well,
me, and
well,
it's really funny
I
though,
understand
because
what
you take it so serious, and you like, yeah, as you get older, you try to like take this shit more serious, and you're like, okay, this is what my life's gonna be. But it was all based on a fucking lie that your friends were just they were just trying to make you feel good, or they were just your friends, and that's the only reason they told you.
Are you talking art friend or high school friends?
Just high school friends, or even family, classmates, all
Yeah. Well, I think I'm not gonna teach you anything by saying that, but you know, most of the people around you, um, I I think you've already noticed it, but they don't have, I wouldn't say any, but a lot of drawing culture. They don't really. What did they read in their life? Maybe Garfield and a few comics, but they don't have
No, so yeah,
the
I get that. What's impressive to some,
when you
some other
draw, you
things.
you act like something. How I how do I say it in English? It's people always are putting their insecurities into you. Like if you're drawing in the street, there is going to be an old dude and an old lady who's comes up at you, looks at what you're doing, and the first thing they're gonna shout out is, "Oh, why? Oh, I couldn't do this."
Yeah.
Have you already had this? Because everybody's putting their insecurity into a girlfriend needs attention.
What's up?
Um, mm, what?
What's that? You cut. Everyone's putting their insecurity into what?
Yeah, everybody's putting their insecurity into your drawing because they they feel that they could never achieve what you're doing, even if what you're doing is just training for a few years and voila. But voila. But yeah. Have you ever had this case of people coming around you and being like, "Oh wow, you have a gift for drawing. I could never do that in my life." You know the gift thing for drawing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
thinking it's
yeah.
just this magical thing
Yeah.
that yeah.
Like when you don't play the piano, the guitar, you say, "Oh, you gotta have a gift to do that," and
Well,
that's just
I
straight up.
will say though, you know for some people, they may look at
Yeah, it's,
a younger artist who's very talented, and they may say, "Oh, that scares the shit out of me because they're younger than me and better than me." But what scares me more than anything probably is people who are older and put in
mm.
the time every day and they don't get any better. That that that
Well,
terrifies me because those people do exist, and I still haven't figured out, if that's a mentality thing, an IQ thing. Like I don't know what that, or I don't know
it's
why that is. If
I think it's a mix of a lot of things, but mainly you've already answered your question because you're telling me younger people do progress at a terrific speed and older people don't. When you're young, you're learning at a terrible speed. You're like, if you teach I've got a friend who started coding at the age of 7. He was coding like an MS Paint on a calcul. How do you
calculator,
the device calculator,
Jesus
and
Christ,
he was like 7 because the a kid's brain is not 50 years old brain. It's
yeah,
really. This is why I think my girlfriend is so good at this time because she started drawing pretty seriously at the age of 14, something like this. So
yeah,
I think age has to be well. Age helps you learn things, but when you are older, you always act like you have some experience, so you don't need to. You are not as much open. You are not as much open as putting yourself into question. Questioning yourself is like, do I really need to learn that?
right,
Is it enough with what I already know?
yeah. But there
So
are a lot of artists though who blow up, in popularity in their older age. Steve Huston is probably an example. His series of boxers and everything. He did all these when he was 50, I think. I I don't know. I don't know, and that's what
actually,
he's popular for.
that's funny. I think. I don't know if it's him. Excuse me.
He was at THU.
Excuse me.
You're good.
Steve Houston, is this the guy who boxes? I'm not sure. I know my girlfriend did a study of two boxer on a black background.
That's
But I think
probably his. It's probably his.
I think. Yeah. But was how old was he when he did those boxes?
Yeah, I think he was like 50. Yeah.
Fuck me, 50.
Yeah. Dude's crazy. I think he was a boxer for a time and did construction.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like a photogenic boxing. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but it doesn't feel like cinematographic or just good for the picture. It really has some sense of I know what I'm painting.
Yeah, no, he's I love that guy. I really do. I wish I was at THU this last year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but I'm finding what I was telling you in his paintings is that even if he's putting a lot of anatomical information into his drawings and stuff, and it's not the main purpose of his drawings. It's like, yeah, you've got to know it to tell it aside, but that's not the main subject. Like in every painting, he's putting like the head on a certain angle so that shade, he plays with lights and shades. So to put a general atmosphere in his painting, and he's telling us, oh, this boxer has an advantage, or oh, this boxer is really having a bad moment in his life. That
Right.
it doesn't have to be complicated, but just a drawing, just a nice painting, just for the sake of a nice painting, yeah, it's nice, but you're not gonna make a career or something out of it.
Yeah, that's really difficult to even understand, I think. I mean, that's really it. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's very complicated. I don't know. I don't know how you guys, yeah. But I don't know. For you, you go to this school, and you said to me before we started this recording that you you're very thankful for the school. You feel like if you weren't in it, you'd be a little more distracted, less, But
Yeah.
when you're at the school, is it strictly the regiment and the time and the location that helps you improve? Do you feel like a lot of what is pushing you in the directions to get better, is that all in your head? Is that all? Are those all things that you're thinking about, or is it the teachers pushing certain concepts on you, or certain,
I think it's a mix of both.
mix of both?
At the end of the day, it's always you pushing yourself, because nobody can make you move your ass for you. It's always you in the end of the day.
Well,
But
that was, it's been, I ask this because it's been kind of an assumption of mine that I hadn't really questioned for a while, where I felt that, like, any, I wondered if it was arrogant, because I did feel like any improvement I was having, I felt like if I concentrated enough and I paid attention close enough to what I was doing, that I could figure out all those things I needed to improve on. But
well,
I don't know if you would say that that's arrogant, or and I know a lot of people who feel the same way, and that's why they don't do school.
I don't quite understand what are you telling me that could be arrogant.
Well, it just, if it's not true, if you need those, mentors, and you need those.
I think I don't know if you see what I mean. If I tell you need catalyzers, you have some potential. But the thing is that you are I don't know how old you are. I assume you'll be like something like 25.
I'm not 19.
Are you 19? Oh, you're younger than me. Okay. The voice is pretty low. So yeah, you know, we both have around 20 years. We both are 20 years old, and at 20 years old, are you able to use your potential? Are you able to drive yourself? You know,
Right.
everybody has a potential, but I think this is why I was telling you that I decided to stay at school, because do we have enough maturity to put our potential to work in a good way, in a good direction? Because you know, I think you've already felt that drawing without thinking is just like turning a wheel over and over and over and over. And it's cool at the beginning because you need to just practice to loosen your hand and stuff. But within 1-2 years of doing this, at some point you need to start thinking, because a drawing it's good if it's well painted. But yeah, same story. Does it tell something? So somebody has to tell you how to. Not it's not how to think, but it's the basis, because everybody can feel a bit of what's right and what's wrong, but you need to have some kind of um, some
guidance.
how do you say that in English? Yeah, some guides, some guidelines, some main lines, somebody that can feel your potential and then help you into some way. What way do you need to pick?
Right.
Because a lot of people, as example, yesterday I was having character design class with a teacher, and some guy was doing some pretty nice realistic stuff. He's been copying Remy for a while now. And he's doing some pretty good caricatures, pretty realistic stuff. But some other people in my class, for example, are trying to go for this realistic style. But I don't know if it's a mix of they didn't train enough to do it, and also it doesn't feel really smooth. It doesn't feel like it's matching the personalities of the teacher. Was like, for now, it's not something I think you should do, because not because you're not made to do realistic things, but for that exercise, etc., it's not fitting you. For what you are trying to tell us with your characters, it was like we need to do 6 characters, and it's 2 times 3. You know, like 3 characters that would be some villains and some not villains, or 2 groups that would oppose each other, and there was this girl trying to make some realistic feet with the 5 toes and put all the muscles in place, but it was just looking a bit goofy, and the characters were looking pretty caricatural, and you know, it was kind of a fish cake. It was something she was trying to mix realistic with cartoony at the same time, and she wasn't sure which way to go. And these are times you need a teacher, you need somebody to tell you, look, if it doesn't feel like you feel like I feel like you've done academic work, anatomical work, 3 years long, and you're struggling to get out of it. But I feel like you need to go more cartoony, forget a bit about the anatomy, and go for what you're telling us with these characters. They would look better. I would have a better first impression of them if they were thought like just, I wouldn't say tech savvy, but you know,
right.
It's real good to learn some academical stuff, but it has to serve a purpose, or else you might end up with trying to replicate, stuff you've learned, but without any purpose. Or you have a purpose, but it's like a break. It's like it's like mm, it's like if your parents tell you, "Oh, don't tell big words in front of anybody," and you take that rule for all your life, and you never say fuck or things like that, and it has to be adapted, you know.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't know. Um, I don't know. So well, so many different directions you can go are just, it's entirely up to you as well. There are just certain there are so many different niches, especially in the online art world, where
Yeah.
you probably could you absolutely could get away with you know a lot less fundamentals that that you use and even your most basic
Mm-hmm.
sketches that
Mm-hmm.
uh it, there are people in their 30s using paint tool Sai and drawing Powerpuff Girls that are making a decent living,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine, but I get what you're saying about having that environment and those people to kind of guide
Niches.
you, I
Yeah, they're not. It's important not to have somebody telling you exactly what to do, but they see that your potential and they're helping you out doing it. If it's like, I don't know if you've ever done climbing, they're not going to tell you where to place every feet and every hand and stuff, but they
mm,
loosely tell you should try to put you use more weight onto this foot, or try a bit this way, and
yeah,
not telling you that is the way. It's important to have, if you get a teacher or something, it's important that they are adaptive, because not everybody's different.
are there I don't know, are there projects you'd like to work on when you're outside of school?
Um,
Do you want to
outside school,
do more
I don't
commercial
know.
stuff, personal stuff?
Uh, you mean art
Yeah, yeah,
projects in general?
yeah.
For now, I don't know. It's still pretty blurry out of school. I mean, I would see myself doing concept art at the studio. I've already done it last year, but I would also see me producing some cartoons.
Yeah.
I don't know, cartoons. I really don't know. Thing is that I might go a bit more towards concept art, because concept art, you can put your style bit in. You are researching, but thing is that when you work for cartoon productions, there's already been a concept artist
Right.
doing the characters, doing the background. So there's a style you have to respect, and that's not something I really like. Well, I would probably have to do it for some time in my life, but it's not something I'm really jumping joy about.
Yeah.
So if I had the occasion to maybe have a small art job, and then next to that develop a cartoon with a few friends,
Okay.
something, or be having an author uh, um, démarche. How do you say it? Just being an
Oh, like a
author of a cartoon.
yeah.
There's an excellent cartoon. I don't think you would appreciate it, because it's only Belgian and French. That's not very popular even in France. It's called A Town Called Panic, and it's done by just two guys, and it's absolutely hilarious. And this is the kind of stuff I would like to do. Not having a lot of success, but goddamn, being making it so funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wait for the diploma. I'm gonna make a short. I'm gonna make a short movie around 3 minutes, and then we'll see what happens. I still have 2 years of a superior year of diploma to go, so
Yeah.
within 2 years, I think I'll figure out what I want to go towards.
Cool,
And
man.
even job opportunities, sometimes they come up one day, and the next day, poof, you're employed, and you wouldn't expecting that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally true. It's bizarre. And then when you do want it, it's just fucking nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it's been good. I know you got to get going pretty soon.
Hmm?
Uh
I'm gonna go.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm hoping to maybe get Enzo. Enzo would just fuck around on one of these, but you know, I feel like they're pretty educational. Uh, I'll
Yeah,
have to send
well,
you. I'll
I
have to
think
send you
that
a.
yeah, I think Enzo's point of view would be pretty interesting because he's dropped out of or dropped out kind of our school, and then he's learned to put self discipline, and he doesn't have the same way of doing things
Yeah,
than I do. I wouldn't say I'm pro school, but I think in my case, it's a good thing to follow.
yeah.
So I think it's good to have both. Do you plan on going on art school yourself?
Dude, I work full time in motors, and I
In motors, you mean mechanical stuff?
like no like e-commerce for motors. Sometimes, but
E-commerce?
yeah, like I just do the most mundane shit that's totally unrelated to art, and then I just work on art. Uh, but right now I've got an animation job
Yeah. Is
that's
it so?
coming out.
Do the guys pay you?
Yeah. I'll have to talk to you about it in private, but yeah, for me, I'm kind
Hmm.
of like Enzo. Just always, you know, just working and then art.
Okay, good.
But yeah,
Yeah. But do you plan on doing art school maybe for a few years?
I think what I would like to do is some of the you know, Mache Kuchara. I don't know how to say his name. The art cafe guys, Ash Thorpe and Mache.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
whatever their online school is, they actually do like one-on-ones with some of those guys who've worked for Naughty Dog and stuff like that. So I I'd like to maybe do one of those. But other than that, nah, just one-on-one stuff for me.
Okay.
But
But
yeah,
yeah. I know that art school also is expensive, right?
it's very fucking expensive. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I would still recommend you, if even if you can go to art school, just taking some lessons, that some really good lessons that would be from start up with something like. Yeah, my girlfriend's telling me that there are art lessons on the internet, but yeah, I would advise you to go for maybe at least 1 year of still academic stuff at, I don't know, schoolism and etc. And then maybe going for people that are maybe out of the academic system, and going for guys who will tell you how to create an universe, how to make something. Sorry, just for a few seconds. Yeah, but going for some guys like how's that old guy that does animation with animals called
Oh,
Aaron,
Aaron
Aaron
Blaze.
Place? Yeah,
Yes.
this guy and maybe the guy doing the dam keeper. They make some pretty good lessons or on how you tell the story in a picture. Maybe just keep doing the academic stuff for 1 or 2 years, but then really important for me, do not forget how to tell the story, because what you're gonna tell in the end is gonna be what's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for doing this. All
Yeah,
right.
no problem.
Well, peace out.
Thank you. Have a nice day. I don't
See you,
know
man.
what time it is for you.
Yeah, it's pretty late. All right. See you, man.